Friends, every week we work hard to bring you a spine-chilling animated horror story. If you're enjoying the tales on our channel Killer Today, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Tonight's story is about the Labubu Horror. Maylene lived in Shanghai with her dog Bao. She originally came from a small village in China, but after her father's death, she moved to the city to earn money for her mother and younger sister. Maylene had a sweet, gentle personality and worked in a toy shop. She adored toys, especially dolls. Because she worked there, she often bought her favorites at discounted prices. Over the years, she had collected unique dolls from all around the world. One day, her shop received a new limited edition Labubu doll collection. They sold out instantly, but Maylene had already set one aside for herself, a golden Labubu. Unlike the others, this one had a unique golden fur, bright blue eyes, long floppy ears, and a wide, toothy smile. She had never seen anything quite as cute. Excited, she brought the golden Labubu home, hugged it tightly, and even took dozens of photographs with it. She introduced the doll to her dog, Bao, as if it were the newest member of her little doll family. Normally, Bao wagged his tail happily around the dolls. But the moment he saw the golden Labubu, he growled and barked furiously. Maylene found it strange but brushed it off, thinking perhaps Bao was simply afraid. She placed the doll on her shelf and went to bed. That night, Bao refused to sleep in her room. He sat staring at the doll until he eventually ran out. The following morning, before she left for work, Bao again barked madly at the golden Labubu. As Maylene was about to step out, Bao tugged at her jeans, pulling her toward the shelf where the doll sat. Frustrated, she scolded him, locked him in the bathroom, and went to work. That day turned into one of the worst of her life. Maylene, normally cheerful and polite, suddenly found herself losing her temper at customers. She shouted at one so loudly that her boss had no choice but to scold her in front of everyone. And then he fired her. Confused, she went home in tears. She couldn't understand why she had been so angry. Opening the bathroom door, she found Bao rushing out towards her. But the moment he saw her tearful face, even he went quiet, his eyes filling with sadness. That night, exhausted, Maylene fell asleep early. As she slept, she heard laughter. Not human laughter, but something unnatural, shrill and chilling. In the corner of her darkened room, she thought she saw a figure staring at her. When she got up to look, no one was there, only the Labubu doll, still smiling from the shelf. She tried to shake it off and went back to bed. But then came the dream. In it, a grotesque creature appeared. Its skin was blood red, rotting in patches. It had enormous sharp teeth, long claws sharper than knives, and eyes that gleamed with malice. Slowly, it crept toward Maylene, reaching to strangle her. She screamed, but the creature only laughed louder, a horrific, echoing laugh, before slashing at her with its claws. Maylene jolted awake, drenched in sweat, and then she froze. The Labubu doll was sitting on her chest. Terrified, she screamed. Bao burst into the room. She stared at the doll. It was supposed to be on the shelf, yet here it was, grinning even wider than before. Before she could react, Bao lunged at the doll, tearing it apart with his teeth until it was nothing but shredded stuffing. Shaking, Maylene threw the remains into the dustbin, pulled Bao close, and tried to sleep again. By morning, her headache was unbearable. Tiny red rashes had appeared all over her hands. Bao was missing. She searched the house, calling his name. At last, she opened the bathroom. Bao wasn't there either. But when she glanced at the mirror, she gasped. Her face was covered in red welts as though she had been bitten, and in the reflection, she saw something standing behind her, the same demonic creature from her nightmare. She spun around. Nothing. Only the Labubu doll sat on the bathroom shelf. Her heart stopped. How could that be? Bao had ripped it apart the night before. Yet here it was, looking even more sinister, its once cute smile twisted into a wicked grin. Panicked, she ran through the house calling for Bao. Then she saw it. The doll was now sitting by the kitchen sink. Its mouth and hands were stained red. When she looked beneath the sink, her blood turned to ice. There lay Bao's body torn apart, his blood pooling beneath him. Malin collapsed in horror. She now knew the doll wasn't normal. She turned to the internet for answers. What she discovered chilled her to the bone. Across the world, people had reported that their Labubu dolls were haunted. Victims lost their jobs, fell gravely ill, or even suffered the death of loved ones. Some countries had already banned the dolls. In others, priests performed exorcisms on them. Some even believed the Labubu doll wasn't just cursed, it was the vessel of an ancient demon named Pazuzu. Determined to end it, Malin burned the doll, gathered its ashes, sealed them in a jar, and threw them into the river. That night, she called her younger sister and told her everything, believing the nightmare was finally over. But the next morning, neighbors found Malin's lifeless body in her home. And beside her, untouched, sat the golden Labubu doll. Even now, people whisper that the Labubu doll is cursed, an embodiment of pure evil. So what do you think? Is the Labubu doll truly possessed by a demon, or is it nothing more than an elaborate hoax? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Last year, we organized India's biggest horror festival, HorrorCon, and your love and support made it a huge success. You came, you met your favorite horror creators, you played terrifying games, and celebrated Halloween with us. This year, HorrorCon is back, bigger and scarier than ever. For 2 full days on the 25th and 26th of October at NCC Okhla in Delhi, join us for the ultimate horror party with stories, music, performances, and fun. Follow HorrorCon India on Instagram for updates, link in the pinned comment. And if you enjoyed today's tale, don't forget to subscribe to Killer Today. We often hear about different murder cases in the news, but some murders are so terrifying that just hearing about them can send chills down your spine. This is the story of one such murder case that Ladakh police could never solve. One morning, the Ladakh police received a phone call from a small hotel. A guest had been found dead inside one of the rooms. The dead body belonged to a 28-year-old man named Ravi. He had been staying there for a few days, keeping to himself, avoiding people. When the police examined the body, they noticed deep black marks around his neck and his eyes, wide open, like he had seen something horrifying right before his death. During their search, they found a letter. Attached to it was a photograph of a young woman. In that letter, Ravi had written, "Ria has destroyed my life." According to the letter, Ravi's troubles began after he returned to Delhi. His car brakes failed mysteriously, causing a serious accident, and just before blacking out, he saw her, Ria. Days later, his home was attacked at night, windows shattered, stones thrown, and again, she was there, watching from the shadows. Then tragedy struck again. While with his girlfriend Nisha, she suddenly fell to her death from the balcony, and when Ravi looked down, Ria was standing next to her body staring at him. Within days, his house burned down. His parents died in the fire, and then came the phone call. A girl laughing hysterically. It was Ria. Ravi's letter revealed their past. In college, they were in love. But after graduation, Ravi broke up with her. Since then, his life had been chaos. Police dismissed his claims. Doctors called him unstable. He was locked in a psychiatric ward. But even there, Ria followed. Rats crawling over him at night. Biting. Scratching. He escaped and ran to Ladakh. But his final words in the letter were chilling. "If something happens to me, the only one responsible is Ria." The forensic report stunned everyone. Ravi had strangled himself in with his own hands. CCTV showed no sign of Ria, and Delhi police revealed she had been dead for years. Her best friend said heartbreak after Ravi's betrayal had killed her. She was not a monster. She was kind. She was broken, and she died because of him. So what really happened? Was Ravi insane? Or was Ria's spirit haunting him until he finally died? What do you think? Tell us in the comments below. And yes, friends, don't forget, this year, India's biggest horror festival, HorrorCon, is back. Live horror storytelling, spooky games, terrifying performances, and a mystery Bollywood guest. So grab your tickets now. The link is in the pinned comment. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Killer Today for more chilling tales. So friends, there's a railway station that's bustling with people all day, but at night it turns eerily quiet and downright frightening. In the darkness, the empty platforms gleam under dim lights. The tracks glint faintly, and the distant sound of a train creates a strange, unsettling atmosphere. This is the story of Begumpur railway station. During the day, this station is just like any other. Trains come and go every hour, passengers rush across platforms, and announcements echo all around. But as soon as the sun sets and darkness falls, the station feels like it belongs to another world. No trains stop here at night. They all rush past, as if afraid of something unseen. Platform number 3, in particular, is avoided at all costs. Locals say someone still lingers there trying to catch their last train. About 5 years ago, a tragic incident happened at this very station. Ever since, strange occurrences have been reported. This is the story of a railway station where no one dares to linger at night. You may consider it just a rumor or an old folklore, but it's based on events personally experienced by a railway employee named Ajay. If you ever stand alone on platform number 3 at night, perhaps you'll feel what Ajay felt. Ajay was a railway employee with 12 years of service in Indian Railways. A few months ago, he was transferred to Begumpur railway station. He was appointed as a railway traffic controller, responsible for closing the station office after the last train had passed. He had become so skilled in his work that being alone at night no longer bothered him, but some things still made him uneasy. The station was slightly away from the city, so after 11 p.m., hardly anyone was around. Yet among the staff and locals, whispers circulated about strange happenings on platform number 3 after midnight. Some claimed they saw shadows, while others heard footsteps where no one was supposed to be. One day, Ajay asked his colleague Ramesh whether these stories about platform number 3 were true, or if people were just having fun. Ramesh chuckled lightly and replied, "Brother, I haven't seen anything myself, but many people have experienced odd things. There was a guard who claimed he saw a man sitting on platform 3, but when he approached there was no one. And this didn't happen just once. Many people have said something's off here." Ajay didn't pay much attention. He didn't believe in ghosts. He thought people were just exhausted or letting their imagination run wild in the darkness. But little did he know that he would soon confront this mystery himself. A few years back, Ravi, a government employee, used to take the 8:30 p.m. train regularly. One day he was delayed at work. His wife called to say there were guests at home and he wanted to reach home quickly. Running toward the station, he arrived just as the train was slowly leaving. In a rush, he tried to board it, but the platform was wet. He slipped and fell directly onto the tracks. Losing his balance, he ended up under the train. This accident happened around 10:30 p.m. and was witnessed by an elderly tea vendor on the platform. According to him, the train's guard and some passengers tried to help, but it was too late. After this incident, rumors began spreading that Ravi's spirit still wandered platform number 3. Many passengers reported seeing a man sitting there late at night, only to vanish when approached. Some even said they saw a shadow in white clothes standing on the tracks after a train had passed. Since then, strange occurrences began every night on platform number 3. But Ajay still didn't believe in them. To him, they were just rumors. One night, Ajay was alone on duty. Usually, there were 2 employees, but that day, Ramesh had taken leave for a family function. Ajay was responsible for closing the station office and updating the signal control report after the last train. It was 12:45 a.m., and the last train had just passed platform 1. Ajay checked his watch in the signal panel, ensuring the track was clear. Minutes later, the train's headlight appeared in the distance, and its whistle echoed. Once the train passed, Ajay let out a sigh of relief. All that remained was paperwork before he could switch off the lights and go home. He sat down, opened the register, and began filling out the train report. Then he heard a voice from platform number 3. At first, he thought it was the wind, but within seconds the voice became clearer, as if someone were speaking. He glanced at the CCTV screens, but saw nothing. The station was completely deserted, yet he felt someone watching him. "Maybe my mind is playing tricks," he told himself and tried to focus on the report. But as he began turning off the station lights, a shadow appeared on platform number 3. It was the silhouette of a man, standing perfectly still. AJ grabbed a torch and decided to step out. As he walked toward the platform, a cold breeze brushed his face. Where did this sudden chill come from? By the time he reached the platform, no one was there, but it felt like someone had just been standing there. Suddenly, footsteps echoed from behind. He spun around but saw nothing. His heart raced as he scanned the empty station. "This is just my imagination," AJ whispered. But deep down, fear had begun to creep in. He ran back to the station master Kevin's office, locked the door, and tried to calm himself. The clock struck 1 a.m. He sat there, taking deep breaths, trying to focus on his work. But he realized this wasn't just a trick of the mind. Something was genuinely present at the station. After that night, Ajay became increasingly disturbed. He couldn't sleep properly. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that shadow on platform number 3. The next evening, he shared his experience with Ramesh during the day shift. "Ramesh, last night something weird happened," Ajay said. "Someone was standing on platform 3. When I went near, it vanished. I even heard voices." Ramesh laughed. "Ajay, you're alone on night shifts, your mind's playing games." "No, there's definitely something there. Haven't you ever felt anything strange here?" AJ pressed. Ramesh was silent for a moment, then said, "Honestly, I've never personally experienced it, but I've heard many warnings. People say don't go near platform 3 at night. I never took it seriously." Ajay wasn't satisfied. He spoke to some of the older shopkeepers near the station. Ramlal, an elderly tea vendor outside the station, said, "Son, I saw Ravi that night, trying to board the train. And then that tragic accident. Since then, many people have seen him at night, still trying to catch his last train." Ajay was now convinced. This wasn't just a made-up story. The fear began to take a toll, and one day he didn't come to duty. Ramesh was alone during the night shift that night. Around 1 a.m., he heard strange voices from platform 3. At first, he ignored it, but as the sounds grew louder, he mustered courage and went to check. A cold breeze hit him. On a distant bench, someone seemed to be sitting. "Who's there?" Ramesh called. The figure didn't move. He switched on his torch, and the shape vanished instantly. Terrified, Ramesh ran, locked the office, and went home. The next morning, he went to Ajay's house. "Ajay, I saw it. You were right," Ramesh said. Both realized what was happening was real. Yet the station master and other officials laughed off their experiences. Slowly, the nights became unbearable for Ajay and Ramesh. They constantly felt watched. Sometimes the phone would ring on its own, and when answered, only heavy breathing was heard. The stress grew so intense that they requested a night shift change, but nobody took them seriously. Ajay was now completely distressed. He didn't understand why this spirit targeted only him and Ramesh. Finally, he decided to find a solution. He consulted local people and former colleagues who explained that sometimes spirits are bound to a place and try to communicate with the living. Still skeptical, Ajay reached out to Parvez Ansari, a paranormal investigator he'd heard about from a local shopkeeper. Parvez had investigated many mysterious incidents before. Parvez came to the station, conducted investigations, and sensed that the spirit was restless. Ajay explained Ravi's story, how he had died trying to catch his last train. Parvez said the spirit was trapped because it didn't realize it had died, still feeling it could catch the train. To release the spirit, they had to fulfill its last wish. For several nights, Parvez stayed at the station, conducting detailed investigations, recording electronic voice phenomena, and capturing some unusual sounds. The most striking fact was that the spirit targeted only those who didn't believe in ghosts. It tried to show its presence to those who dismissed it as false. Parvez explained this to Ajay and Ramesh. Now Ajay understood why it only affected them. They had denied its existence, prompting the spirit to manifest more strongly. Parvez suggested that if Ravi's train could run once more, he could board it and finally move on. Following Parvez's advice, Ajay and Ramesh, with the help of some railway officials and local staff, arranged a train to pass by Platform 3 at the exact time of Ravi's accident. They called out softly, "Ravi, your train has arrived. You can go now." As the train's headlight fell on the platform, they saw a shadow descending the steps, slowly moving toward the train in white clothes. Parvez began a prayer, and everyone bowed. The figure paused as if to say thank you, then disappeared into the train. The whistle blew, and the train moved ahead. From that day on, Platform 3 showed no shadows, no voices, no cold drafts. The atmosphere changed. It was no longer eerie but calm. Ajay and Ramesh felt relieved. They knew Ravi had finally reached his destination. Every place has its story, but some stories never truly end. If you ever find yourself in a mysterious place and sense something unusual, don't ignore it. It may be trying to tell you something. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to us, follow our Instagram and Facebook pages, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.